wear clothes that you don't care about. You're gonna wear gloves, you're gonna wear do-rag. I know the whole layout of the building.
Andre already knew that Jaslyn had a reputation for fighting when she was younger. That was exactly why he chose her. He even picked out what Jaslyn should wear, telling her to wear gloves and protect her hair. Jaslyn's account helps clarify the days leading up to the murder, but one thing stands out. She repeatedly tries to downplay her role, presenting herself as someone who was merely influenced rather than involved. A claim that within minutes would be completely undermined by a small slip she made.
We had gotten dressed, we had prepared. My mom had gotten home. We had told her that we were going to go on a walk. He was explaining to me that the person that me and him were going to fight with, and the person who was going to seduce, had messed with a girl that he knew and had, essentially from what I know. And on the way there, he's telling me exactly where we're going to walk, exactly how we're going to walk, exactly what we're gonna do, and we're gonna wait for a signal. And I was like, okay.
What the fuck?
But immediately when we got in there, we had walked over to where the staircase was, the stairwell was, while even telling me to move this way to avoid a camera and to avoid things. So we had walked up the stairs while Chrissy stayed downstairs and made a call. Me and him were upstairs. He's just talking to me. We're relaxed, we're chill. And then he got a signal from Chrissy to walk downstairs. And he had a weapon with him. He told me to hold the weapon. We had gloves on at this time still. We had walked down the stairs. He had approached the boy, and Chrissy had moved back and walked down the stairs.
Did you know this boy or no? Okay.
When the boy tried to make a run for it after Andre approached him and was like, yeah, we have a problem. He has me standing behind. Chrissy looked at me and he made a run for it, and I'm like, okay, weapons just for intimidation, I'll put this down. I ran and I helped Andre to tackle him and put him onto the ground.
Jaslyn uses the word weapon. Even though she's detailed and specific in almost every other part of her story, she keeps this part vague. We already know DJ was found with 2 stab wounds, so whatever the weapon was, it clearly wasn't a gun. What that weapon actually was, and why Jaslyn avoided naming it, becomes clear later in the interview. And it's something that will shock you.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is
Everybody just coming in. It's the last video before we end the stream. Been on here for 3 hours and 20 minutes, y'all. Been on here for 3 hours and 20 minutes. Shit getting crazy. Everybody, person that just came in here, this is the last video. Been on this bitch for a long time. 3 hours to get on this bitch. Tomorrow, early in the morning, afternoonish. Make sure y'all up, have that post notifications on.
Very sibling type.
But this time, nothing felt like a joke. The weapon he used, the level of planning involved, his behavior, and the sheer intensity of the violence he unleashed all point to the same conclusion. This was a planned killing, not a spontaneous act.
He proceeded to take out a small weapon and attempt to stab. And he was failing, and I was just like, okay, I can see it because I'm holding his legs. So I'm in a position where I'm holding both of his legs and I'm wrapped around his under torso, and I just poke it right here.
Jaslyn claims she didn't know Andre's full plan, but she did admit that she helped, holding DJ down even after the stabbing began. As disturbing as that is, Jaslyn never stopped or showed regret during the attack, not when DJ was begging for help. Not even as he was slipping in and out of consciousness after being stabbed.
And then he had another smaller weapon, and he took that out, and he stabbed him right here. Also, the boy was just like, you're gonna kill me. Just choke me out or end it, because he kept going in and out.
DJ knew he was dying. Under the pressure and pain he was in, he begged Andre to choke him and end it quickly. Andre ignored him and stabbed him again. After that, DJ went unresponsive, he stopped struggling and tragically died at the scene. In Jaslyn's version of events, she says she was told to do what she was assigned without asking questions. As the confrontation escalated, she says she didn't fight back because she was terrified of what might happen. Throughout her account, she places nearly all the blame on Andre. That explanation mostly holds up until Jaslyn slips up. In the middle of her story, she mentions a detail that seriously undermines her claim that she didn't know this was a murder plan and instead places her right at the center of it.
Prior to this, he had told me that this was the first person he had ever killed.
Prior to this, he had told you that?
When we were at the house, when we were just talking about the whole plan, what to do, what was going to happen, but he never told me that he was going to kill somebody until at this time. You know, like, this is the first person. I leave it here. I'll ask Chrissy. I'll leave.
That single detail changes everything. It shows that Jaslyn knew about the murder plan long before it happened. Now her story starts to crack. It directly contradicts her earlier claim that she had no idea this was meant to be a killing. At this point, it's clear she was far more involved in both the planning and the decision than she had admitted. That's when the officer shifts the focus and asks about the weapon used in the attack.
I'm assuming it's a knife then that he had?
There's a knife and there is a
A longer what?
sword.
A sword. Okay.
A knife is something that can be easily concealed, but a sword isn't. Hiding something like that would be almost impossible. It's hard to believe that Jaslyn and Christy could have been around Andre all that time without noticing the sword. Now detectives finally have enough pieces to start shaping a version of events that's much closer to the truth. But before moving forward, they still needed to make sure the physical evidence matched the story.
So you saw the big sword when he first showed up here in the first place?
I didn't see it exactly. I just saw that there was a bag with it, and I was like, okay. Because somebody else had taken everything out of the house behind us, and I didn't know where that was. And I believe it was either in like a jacket with him, or with Chrissy in an extra jacket, or in a bag with them.
Jaslyn could tell detectives were zeroing in on one key detail. She knew about the sword before they ever left the house, and that meant she knew the plan from the start. She tried to distance herself from it, saying that when they left, Andre grabbed a small knife and a larger sword, but she claimed she didn't actually see the sword at first and assumed it was already in the bag. Detectives weren't convinced. By now, there were too many gaps in her story. The teens believed they had pulled off the perfect crime. They killed someone in broad daylight in a tucked-away stairwell inside a busy apartment complex.
Her right there.
They killed someone in broad daylight.
Catfish.
The teens believed they had pulled off the perfect crime.
Catfish.
They killed someone in broad daylight in a tucked-away stairwell inside a busy apartment complex, avoided security cameras, and left no direct eyewitnesses. If the group chat messages hadn't surfaced later, they might have gotten away with it. But everything started to fall apart after the attack. They dragged DJ's body into the bushes, packed the weapons and supplies into a bag, and returned to Jaslyn's complex. There, they made a serious mistake. In an open, grassy area, clearly visible from nearby apartments, they started a fire and burned the bloody clothes using gasoline. As they sat there, shaken, but still hoping they were in the clear, a security guard spotted them.
Get exclusive Mortal Kombat 2 wallpapers for your PC.
In that moment, the cover-up ended, and he wasn't the only one watching. Another resident had seen them too and later told police exactly what she saw.
The two girls, they were just standing there, but they weren't moving much. The chubby girl, she was just like moving back and forth, but like standing in the same spot but moving a little bit. And then the guy was moving around the fire, just throwing more gasoline. I didn't see their face, but I saw their body shape, and seeing them on the photos, you could picture them, especially the chubby girl. You could feel the traumatization from them, and you could feel like they were scared, but you could also feel like they had that energy of the way of thinking like he deserved it. Like you could notice that.
Security camera footage from the apartment complex backed up much of Jaslyn's story. The cameras showed the three teens dressed entirely in black as they approached the stairwell where DJ was attacked. One camera even captured DJ Grant's final moments. Another showed the teens dragging his body toward the bushes exactly as described. But as detectives reviewed everything more closely, cracks began to appear. Parts of Jaslyn's version didn't fully line up. Police seized the teens' phones and went through their messages. It didn't take long to find something that directly contradicted Jaslyn's claim that this was only meant to be a fight. One message revealed the true mindset behind the plan.
White DJ Grant was killed back in October, and for months now, the 3 teens that are accused in his case have been kept in jail.
All the evidence was clear. Within days, police moved in on all 3 suspects. Jaslyn Smith, Christy Parisian, and Andre Clements were all arrested. Each of them was charged as an adult. All 3 were charged with tampering with evidence and conspiracy to commit murder. Christy and Jaslyn were each charged with second-degree murder. Both eventually pleaded guilty and were sentenced to 25 years in prison, followed by an additional 10 years of probation. Andre Clements, who was 17 at the time, was considered the mastermind behind the crime and the one who delivered the fatal sword strike that killed DJ. He faced the most serious charge, first-degree premeditated murder. On February 18, 2025, Andre Clements, now 20 years old, also pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison, followed by lifetime probation.
A caring, loyal, honest person would be there for you in a second and a heartbeat.
Bro, long live him, bro. They did that nigga dirty, bro. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna fuck with y'all. Y'all. Fuck with I fuck with all the little y'all showed me, y'all. Y'all showed me hella love. Y'all see that ending scene? Yeah. Decent or whatever. Cool little ending scene. You know what I'm saying? Love, fam. Love y'all niggas. I need y'all to come pull back up in this bitch tomorrow. Like, be up, y'all. Turn that notifications on for me. I'm gonna fuck with y'all. Y'all all sleep good for have a good ass night. And yeah.